Okay, we're going to start our plum jam by preparing our plums. We got a total of 4 pounds of plums, which will be about 3 pounds once they're pitted. So what I do is basically just do it like this. Keep the skin on and do 1 plum at a time like that. There's 3 pounds of plums ready to go, which was about, I don't know, 30 or so plums. Now next we're going to combine 3 cups of sugar in a separate bowl. Now normally the recipe of this size would use about 7 or 7.5 cups. But because of the Pomona Pectin, we only need 3 cups. And 1 tablespoon of the Pectin mix. So 1 tablespoon. Also in the Pectin pack, the Pomona Universal Pectin, there's also a calcium pack, which we're going to use later, but for right now, we're just going to use the Pectin. So 1 tablespoon of Pectin to 3 cups of sugar. And you want to mix this well before combining it in with the plums, otherwise it will kind of clump up. The Pectin will tend to clump up. So mix the sugar well, and then we're going to add it to the plums that we just caught, and then we're going to put that mixture in the refrigerator overnight to let the sugar and the Pectin combine with the plums and soften them up. We call it macerating, or macerate the plums. So once you've got that well mixed, you can then add that mixture to your plums, and then take a spoon and mix those well. Wooden spoon will work. Just like that. Get it all mixed in and let everything get all coated up. And then we're going to put some saran wrap on this and put it in the refrigerator overnight. And then tomorrow we'll put it on the stove. You can already see the plum juices and the sugar mixing. That's what you want. There you go. Okay, some saran wrap, and we'll refrigerate it overnight. Okay, now we're going to prepare our calcium water. So with the Pomona Universal Pectin package, it comes with a calcium water packet. For this recipe, we're going to, actually it's for more than this recipe, so we can save some for later. You take a half a teaspoon of the calcium water, powder, put it in a jar, half a cup of water, and then close it up, and you want to shake that thoroughly, and then put it in the refrigerator, let it cool. You're going to use a little bit of that, just a few tablespoons, and then the rest you can keep for other batches.
The next day.
Okay, now we're ready to start our plum jam. So start with a large pot, and then take your plums that have been in the refrigerator overnight, kind of soupy now. Get it in there. Some of the sugar's gone to the bottom. Get it all in there. And then mix it in. Take your calcium water out of the refrigerator and then mix in 4 teaspoons of calcium water. This is very important to make sure that it sets correctly. And then turn it on to a medium heat. While that's heating up, add about a half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of butter. And that will be used as it heats up to help reduce the foam that comes from cooking of the plums. Now while your plums are cooking, put your 8-ounce mason jars in a bath of boiling water. This will start to boil soon. Let them boil for about 10 minutes. Then also put your lids in another pan. You don't want to boil them, you just want them heated up. Keep those nice and hot. You want to keep the jars hot after you sterilize them so that when you put the hot jam in, it won't crack. All right.
A few minutes later. Five minutes later. A few minutes later.
Okay. On about 15 minutes now. Starting to thicken. Just keep going. I'm going to go about 30 minutes in total.
5 minutes later.
Okay. Now that the plums have been cooking for about 30 minutes, you can turn off the stove. I've gotten all my jars from the boiling water, put them in a box. Actually, it's the box that the jars came in. And now, what we can do is one at a time. Ladle in the jam. Try to be as clean as you can. Go almost to the top. Make sure, take a clean towel, make sure the rim is nice and clean. Put your top on, and then screw it on. You don't want it too tight. And then take each of your jars and put them on the counter, upside down for 5 minutes. All right, after they've sat on the countertop upside down for 5 minutes, put them back up. Let them cool. What's going to happen is the lids are going to start popping as they cool. And then after they're completely cool, then you could put them in the refrigerator and enjoy them.